there's this story behind this that's built around stealth. And you remember that movie? It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he storms this beach and he's got a commando suit on, and then when he kills a few people, he unzips it and steps out of his commando suit. And he's wearing a tuxedo. Kind of a stealth move.
It was True Lies?
True Lies,
But
right?
as I point out to you, they stole that from James Bond originally. I think it was from Russia with Love, Doctor No. One of those.
That's probably right.
Sean Connery.
So when Spike and I were talking about this, backstage, and it's good to put together technology and make sure the players have the best possible product. But again, we like to have a lot of fun in terms of telling stories, putting a little what I call romance into the mix. So this came to me in a kind of a moment of sort of movie memorabilia, if you will. So I thought about that, and then we emailed, or I should say, Mark Smith, who was a co-designer on the project, along with with several people, but we emailed Michael, and he actually sent back a text, but what it was a question. And maybe you do this sometimes with the muse or someone you're really working with. We asked him what stealth meant. What does stealth mean to you, Michael Jordan? And he actually sent back a really interesting text. I'm going to read it to you. You mind if I read that?
You don't mind at all.
Okay. I have it here. And so I have actually a pair of Special Forces boots on, something that Nike and Jordan makes for, Navy SEALs, Special Forces that basically go behind enemy lines. Kind of a stealth kind of operation. But we wanted to know what Michael Jordan thought of stealth. So Mark Smith sends him an email, and he sent back a text, and the text is stealth. This is Michael. Stealth is like Black Cat. It's an ultimate aircraft. You never hear it coming, but it's deadly as hell. You don't F with a stealth. My game is like that. When you see it, it's too effing late. Perfect quote.
That sounds like Michael.
I wish I could have used a real word. Anyway, so that's how it got rolling. And MJ was into it from the start because really he was the supreme stealth fighter on the basketball court.
Now, how long you guys have to start working on for the next Jordan to come out? How many months in advance does it take?
Well, we like to work a couple of years out for products that are really new and different like this. This is technology that has never been put into a basketball shoe before. And so about 2 years, roughly speaking.
And historically, we've always had the debut for the Jordans at the All-Star game, right?
Yeah. Historically, it actually started, we used to introduce shoes before the All-Star game, and then the All-Star game really became the primary kind of launch pad for a lot of the Jordan products. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And there's someone else you need to bring on.
That's right, yeah. So I'd like to just point out that, both Spike and I get to create a lot of fun stuff. Spike, of course, is incredible filmography and incredible TV work. We could talk about that for days. I've been fortunate to work on a lot of products, but really we both say the same thing, that we don't do this stuff alone. It takes a lot of people. Takes a lot of other creative input and also technical input. So we're going to bring out the technical developer of this product. I think you could honestly say he's co-designer because the technology is so important. And his name is Josh Hurd.
All right, Josh, come on out.
Right.
Let's give it up for Josh.
And by the way, another designer is in the room. His name is Rob Bruce, who worked on this shoe as well, along with Josh and myself. Rob, where are you? He doesn't get to come up on stage. He's not stage ready. But anyway, here's Josh, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about now just about and inspiration and storytelling. But this stuff has to work for the best basketball players in the world. So let's get Josh involved in the conversation. And maybe you want me to ask you?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yep.
That's your co-worker, go ahead. The creators.
So Josh, you want to explain this flight plate,
Absolutely.
innovation?
So yes, flight plate technology. This is, as Tinker said, about 2 years in the making. It's really a holistic system in how everything works together and how it functions. First of all, the first thing you'll notice on the bottom is a protruded, or what we call almost a piston type outsole, where we have Zoom Air, Nike Zoom Air, just under our outsole, which allows and ultimately moderation. Zoom airbags by themselves are extremely energy efficient. The problem was the way we would use Zoom airbags in the past. We'd encapsulate them with foam and whatnot, and it would lock up all of the energy. You couldn't get anything out of it. So what we did was we unlocked the Zoom, we unleashed the Zoom. We've cored out foam all around the Zoom airbags, so literally you were stepping directly on Zoom when you were getting that first initial feel. The outsole also helps, as I said, piston that effect. And then we have a moderator plate on top that eliminates any bumps or any hot spots under the foot. So it's moderated all the way through, and you get that nice, comfortable, smooth feel.
Great. Well, do you have a question?
I would like to know, how do you guys collaborate? How do you guys work together?
Well,
The science and the soul.
that's a great question, because again, I think every project can be a little bit different, but there usually is a pattern of behavior. And the way this one got started was Josh actually was working with Rob Bruce in particular, and they were developing the technology even before the shoe was designed, and which was really to kind of work around this carbon fiber plate and just to improve its interaction with the Zoom airbags. So while they're doing that, then I started sort of thinking about how the entire shoe should kind of sort of evolve, and so that's when I started thinking about that movie. And so then I'll do a sketch. I'll do a drawing that shows the whole shoe. It may be partly technical, but mostly it's kind of an inspiration sketch, and then that sketch goes to Josh and his team. He's got a big technical team that gets this thing rolling. So, what do you? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, Rob Bruce here is the co-designer, and definitely Tinker's inspiration kind of puts it down into a tech package. And then it's my job to kind of go over to Asia. Rob goes to Asia as well, and we work with the factories to get it built and get it made. And this guy's tough to catch down, tag down all the time, but we try to catch him when we can.
Yeah, well, we're always pretty busy, but this kind of project really, it deserves a lot of attention, and so because we know it, there are a lot of people who are wondering, well, what's the next Air Jordan going to be like, and so we put a lot of effort into it. I'd like to say one thing about this process too, and again, I think Spike can really probably riff on this one pretty well, is that this shoe is all about high performance basketball, but it's also about leadership. It's also about doing something that's never been done before in the sport of basketball. It always has been. We haven't always done it perfectly, but we try as hard as we can every time out. So these shoes, by definition, are never supposed to be like anything else that's out there. And I think it's safe to say there's probably not a basketball shoe that's been debuted.
And when I came in early today, and they showed me the shoe, I was startled. But in a good way.
In a good way.
Because, in a good way. Because I've never seen a basketball sneaker, sneaker like this before.
Yeah.
And people who've never picked up a basketball are going to be rocking those. I mean, like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. And you asked this question about process, how we kind of do all this stuff.
Right.
And I don't know how you do it with some of your scripts and screenplays and like maybe even some of the dailies that you film and shoot and you look at. But we definitely, when we put these projects together and they start to get prototyped, that's when we really go and talk with Michael Jordan a lot.
Can I just cut you off a second?
Sure.
Please share with all of us what it's like when the day comes where you have to present to Michael Jordan. I mean, he's seen sketches, but when that day comes, we have to go to wherever he is in the world
Yeah.
and show him the shoe.
Usually we have to track him down. Sometimes might be near a golf course, and sometimes not. Usually we give him a bunch of gifts first to make sure he's in a good mood. You know. It's true. It's a true story, right?
It's true.
Yeah,
Very true.
sure. Yeah, you got to work with the guy.
Yeah.
But really, Michael has always been involved pretty early in the process, right? So sometimes we'll show him sketches first, which we normally do, but those.
Can you just be more specific for what was the process with this shoe?
So this one specifically, we actually we took him a prototype because it was such a different concept. The drawing prototype, and we went to Park City, Utah, if I'm not mistaken. Michael has a place there. We won't give out the address. But anyway, we caught up with him in Park City, Utah, and made a nice big presentation, not only showing him prototypes, but going through the storytelling, and when I started talking about that movie, by the way, I didn't even spit out the name of the movie, and he came up with the name of the movie before I even finished, which shows that he's a movie buff. He's a movie buff, but anyway, so he started to understand, what we're talking about, because he was a little shocked by it too. But I will tell you that Michael is a visionary as well. I think maybe one of the biggest visionaries that we've ever seen in and around the world of sports. And he recognized that this was going to be something special right off the bat.
Absolutely, and if I could just share a story about that trip. We always try to let Michael try on the shoes, right? He's I'd say our biggest fan and our biggest critic. And so we brought a pair in his size, and he tried them on and loved them right away. Tried to take them from us, actually, tried to keep them.
We didn't want to leave them behind.
We didn't want to leave them behind.
Do you ever videotape these things? Or
Sometimes, yeah, actually.
So we didn't want to leave them behind, so Michael went off to the bedroom or something and came back out, and literally we were going out the door with the shoes in hand, and we're loading up the truck, and all of a sudden Michael comes running out of his house in his socks, saying, "You guys, give me that shoe, leave those shoes here." So, he said a few explosives.
We hesitate to give him shoes too early because he'll just wear them. So
I think I'm going to take 3 questions.
Absolutely, that's good.
Who has a question for the creators? Yes, sir.
Yeah, the main thing I'm noticing is The main thing I'm noticing is the cut of the sleeve, so to speak. Why'd you go with just the straight horizontal line and not angle it around the Achilles or the ankle or anything?
Well, I wore these shoes that I'm wearing right now. I wore these out here just to basically spill the beans on the inspiration, which is a standard military 8-inch boot. It has what they call a stovetop cut. And to me, over all these years, the Jordan was kind of a between a high top and a low top. We played around all these years, and I thought, well, then we're going to do it again. We're going to play it around, only this time we're going to, instead of being a mid-cut, be the first one to be a mid-cut. This is the first one to ever be an 8-inch tall basketball shoe. First shoe ever, basketball shoe that tall. We're using these super lightweight materials so we can make it still a very lightweight, high-performance shoe, but it's 8 inches tall, and it's 8 inches tall, and it has the silhouette of a military boot, something that you'd see in battle. And Michael talks about it all the time. Playing sports is basically, you're out there, you're going to go do battle with somebody, you just don't happen to have bullets. And so that's why the cut is the way it is. Just very simple, just cut off the top, just like a military boot.
Yes, sir. With the Bulls jacket.
Hey Tinker, can you talk a bit about the backpack that you have on?
Yeah, I do have a backpack on. It's made out of carbon fiber. I think the reason I wore this out here is actually to just continue to talk a little bit about what's special about Jordans. We put the latest technology in these shoes, the lightest weight materials, the newest ideas and combinations. This backpack is a prototype that is basically reminiscent of a stealth. All right, so there you go. What's that?
Is it light?
It's super lightweight, and I thought it would, you know, maybe when we have some interviews a little bit later, we can talk a little bit more about technology. But the idea here really is to tell a story about using the best materials available and putting them together in a clever way to increase performance, improve the way people play sports.
My man here.
We see all the technology, but obviously the Jordan shoe represents a lot of fashion. Just one simple question. Any particular reason why the color?
Why the color?
Because you didn't have any green on or anything on, so I just have to go with the color.
Well, you know that getting back to that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's wearing like this, or you could go to the James Bond approach where those guys would be wearing one thing, they unzip and they step out and they're wearing something completely different. And so the storyline here is that the shoe is stealth, it's black, it's supposed to look tough and kind of nasty out there on the floor. Intimidation is something that we like to think that we can contribute to, and yet when you unzip it, we wanted it to be almost just the opposite, really brightly colored, and then you can see, and then the colors actually help you sort of see the technology that's actually inside the shoe. And so it's a little bit kind of in reverse. James Bond steps out of a commando suit and he's wearing a tuxedo. This is sort of just the reverse. The commando suit's actually on the inside and the tuxedo's on the out. So.
Yes.
So we know that in the past Jordan used the year number as the name. So why does this change the name to Air Jordan 28?
I don't have a great answer other than to say that.
Where's Larry?
Yeah, Larry, help. We listen to people on the blogosphere, and we talked to a lot of people in the street, and there seemed to have been seems to me to have been a lot of people who wanted to go back to naming these shoes in order, and then using the Roman numerals like we've done in the past. So we're simply just listening to the street, and that's why it's going back to that.
I think we have a question in the back. It's not lit there, but you could just speak up.
Yeah, who's gonna be wearing the shoes, Spike?
I think you might be wearing them tomorrow night in the Barclays Center. Can we bring on Mr. Russell Westbrook? Thunder! What's up? How are you doing?
Doing well, how about yourself?
Good. So you guys you've been in New York for a minute before the game, right? How do you like New York?
It's growing on me.
Yeah?
Before I didn't like it too much, but now it's become a great city, great place for me to shop, so it's good.
So let me ask you, what does it mean to you to be one of Michael's guys? Because it's as you know, Michael's very particular.
Yeah.
So to be a part of one of his guys, representing, when you're a part of Brand Jordan wearing your shoe, you're representing him. Can you tell us
Great things in this game, and to be able to have an opportunity to wear his shoes and have an opportunity to be under his brand, it's a great feeling. You know what? The first time I met Mike was when I was playing we played in Charlotte. It was kind of just like after the game, he's kind of just walking down the ramp, just kind of said, "What's up?" Trying to play it cool.